up at almost 5,000 meters, our high point of the trip, and it's gorgeous. Yeah, just magical.
We're trying to figure each other out and the mountains around us, and it's presenting a lot of challenges, but it's all exciting.
Literally carrying our sleds on our backs and all of the weight on our backs.
But if we would have been all together, everybody would have been caught in that avalanche.
And it was probably one of the scariest moments of my life.
In May of 2014, Holly Walker, Emily Stenberg, Zeb Blaze, Selena Cordeau, and Vince Shuley teamed up to attempt the longest and most ambitious expedition of their lives, crossing Tajikistan's Fedchenko Glacier on skis, completely self-supported and self-propelled. After arriving in the capital, Dushanbe, we sourced our food supplies from local markets, left behind any excess equipment, and loaded our vehicle for the 2-day drive across the country into the Gorno-Badakhshan Autonomous Province. Our local fixer, Sadali Gabuldayev, and our driver, Shamil, from Pamir Guides helped us make the cramped drive as comfortable and as entertaining as possible. We experienced traffic jams, stopped to fill our 20 liters of fuel bottles at the local gas station, and had some difficulty navigating the riverbed of the Upper Vanj Valley. After meeting some of the town's inhabitants during a brief stop in Poi Mazar, we loaded into the back of a Gaz-66 Soviet transport truck and began the slow and bumpy ride towards the toe of the RGS Glacier. When we arrived, we were excited to see some snow on the ground, but immediately knew that we had a lot of hard work ahead of us. We bade farewell to our chauffeurs and the toughest truck we had ever seen and began our journey. It wasn't long before we started running into obstacles. Our first challenge was to cross the Abdelkahor River with our 5 duffel bags, each weighing in excess of 200 pounds. After Zeb crossed the river to rig up a Tyrolean zipline, we were able to shuttle the cumbersome duffels over the river one at a time. For the next 5 days, we fell asleep and awoke to the constant sound of spring avalanches as we labored up the RGS Glacier. The headwall, ridden with crevasses, was the final obstacle before we could finally set foot on the Fedchenko. Rising early to ensure the snow bridges could stand our weight, we roped up and climbed the headwall 3 times before we could finally load up our sleds on snow and begin to drag our loads.
So far it's been a sufferfest. A lot of sloganeering. We traveled for 3 days up and down, up and down, up and down the glacier, but we couldn't ski tour at that point. We had to kind of boot pack in running shoes due to the amount of rock. So I probably should have trained for an entire year carrying a ginormous backpack, working ski patrol. You know, I've got probably 20 pounds on my back on a daily basis, but it's not the same. It's definitely a different level this trip. And I don't know if that's 300 feet away from the Fedchenko Glacier, and there's peaks to ski, and yeah, 8 days to get here, but totally worth it. We woke up at, I think it was 4, even 5 a.m. and we were all ready to go, moving fast. It was really cold. It was probably at least minus 20 degrees Celsius.
So we were going to head up for the ski line that we had previously looked at the night before. And so as we were skinning up, Zeb was the first one putting in the up track.
Maybe 100 feet into the first switchback, I just felt a boom. And I could hear the slope crack, you know, it was like snapping a cracker. And I looked out and I could see the avalanche propagating in front of my skis, and it propagated probably 250 feet in front of me.
The crack propagated pretty much all around us, above us, and over to our section of the slope. That's when I saw Zeb getting carried away by the avalanche.
And I saw his body sliding down in front of me off Looker's left. And I looked to my right, and Emily was already skiing out as quickly as she could.
Yeah, it was the scariest moment of my life. I was getting swept down in this thing and just fighting to stay on top.
But I can't see Seb, so shit, Seb is buried. So I yell out to everyone, turn your transceiver to search mode, and I start running towards the debris pile.
All I could see was kind of dark gray, and my airway was full of snow, and I was coughing and kind of screaming, just trying to clear my airway.
Out of nowhere, and that was so much luck. I just saw a hand sticking out and waving. So I yelled, "Oh, I can see his hand."
So I ran over there, take my skis off, and with my bare hands I start digging in the snow to get his head out. Very shortly I get his head out, and he starts coughing, he's choking on snow.
And we started companion rescue, just digging him out from the side.
Yeah, we get him out, and we head back to camp and have a relaxing day after that.
Beaten, but not broken, the team took a day to rest to recover from the incident. Now more than halfway through the trip, having only done minimal skiing on low-angle slopes, it was time to start moving again. We set off south towards our primary objective of reaching the head of the Fedchenko Glacier. Frigid mornings followed by scorching days was the norm, but we managed to settle into a relatively sheltered campsite before another 5-day storm rolled in. Boredom set in as we patiently watched the forecast, dug out the tent several times a day, and conserved our food. When the clouds parted, our spirits lifted as we prepared to make our final push towards the terminus of the Fedchenko. It was time to get out of Dodge. We had 5 days to exit the Fedchenko and get ourselves and all of our gear to the pickup at Cookjar Pass. The Tanimas Valley was our chosen route, and what was initially a hike across grassy fields quickly turned into an all-you-can-eat buffet of riverbeds and boulder fields. Once again, our backs were burdened, tracing the same path 3 times in order to advance towards our destination. We saw our first signs of life and of death. We became experts at crossing rivers and burned our excess fuel to relieve us of precious grams. After walking more than 400 kilometers in the month of May, exhausted to the point of delirium, our pickup point at Cookjar Pass was a sight for sore eyes.